Yeah.
So if it's moving southeast, areas like Unionville, just to the south of it, and areas even further south than that, so Hilly and Mineral Springs, you need to be getting into your safe place immediately. You don't have that much time to get in there. How fast is it traveling? Did it say about 25 miles per hour?
It's moving towards the south at about 15 miles per hour. It's it's about 14 miles north of Ruston.
Got it. Okay. So it's this area where the greens and the reds are mixing. That's what we look for whenever we're tracking the potential area of rotation regarding tornado warnings. And again, like Chase had mentioned earlier, this storm, this entire line that we've been tracking since earlier today, has had a history of producing a confirmed tornado in Bradley County, Arkansas. So this very well may be an area of rotation that could potentially produce a tornado. It is confirmed not yet, but again, we are still keeping our eyes on it as it continues to move southward. And Chase said it was moving at 15 miles per hour. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's moving to the south about 15 miles per hour, so it's a slow moving storm right now. So if you live in the areas around Mineral Springs, out and just to the south of Dubach and the southern section of that polygon, if you can zoom back in there just a little bit there, yeah, so we can get the street name. So yeah, Unionville, and if you're in Dubach, you already need to be in your safe place. Unionville, you need to be there right now because it's about to move over there into your area. Mineral Springs, Rock Corner, Cedriton, Rock Corner, around Pilot Road, Virgil Road, Pea Ridge Road. For any of the roads I just mentioned, you need to start heading to your safe place because you have at least about 5 minutes before this particular storm gets there. But it is moving slow motion to the south, about 15 miles per hour, and it's heading towards the I-20 corridor. Now, Ruston's not included in that tornado warning. It's just the area of Dubach, Unionville, right there. Yeah, so you can show the arrow direction. That's the heading in that direction toward Ruston and towards the I-20 corridor.
Now, I will say this is a fairly broad area of rotation now, but we've seen, just like with the Bradley County confirmed tornado, which was the same exact storm, it has the capability to weaken and then rampant, I guess you could say, as the greens and reds that we track kind of rotate together and then broaden out as it doesn't have a lot more rotation. But with that latest scan, you can see right about here near Dubach, there's a little area of rotation that's pretty tight at the moment. That is the area that we're tracking, and again, it's moving southeast at 15 miles per hour. So this direction, so if you're headed toward Conneaut and Vienna and Ruston, you need to be getting into your safe place as well, just in case they issue an extension to this tornado warning. This particular one is going to be issued until 10:45. It is moving at only 15 miles per hour. So if you're in this southern area at the bottom of this tornado warning, you do have time to get into your safe place, and I'll explain what that is. It is the most interior room of any building that you are in, whether it be a bathroom, a closet. Just make sure that it doesn't have any windows, because if this is on the ground and if it is kicking up debris, that's when we run into issues with debris flying through windows, and that's why we tell you go into the most interior room of any building that you reside in. Also, though, today is Father's Day. It's Father's Day Sunday. Some of us may be traveling back from our Father's Day dinner with our family and whatnot. So if you know anybody on the road, and Chase, you can kind of read some roads in just a second here that we have in Dubach and Unionville and Virgil Road right there. If you're traveling in any of these areas, or if you know anybody that just left the house from dinner, give them a call. Make sure they're aware of what's happening, because everyone needs to be aware tonight until about 1 a.m. or so, until, again, this severe weather threat kind of moves out of the area. Do you have anything to add, Chase?
Yeah, so the National Weather Service is going to continue the severe thunderstorm warning. That's the same storm that we're looking at right now that the tornado warning is within, and they're going to continue that to at least 10:45, where radar has definitely indicated about 60-mile-per-hour winds and about 1-inch size hail has been indicated by radar with this particular system, and this is for Claiborne, Lincoln, and Union Parish. Now, the tornado warning is just for the northeastern section of Lincoln Parish, just to the north of Ruston, and this includes the community of Dubach, Unionville, and if you live in those particular areas, you need to start heading to your safe place. It's moving down to the south.
Right.
It's a slow-moving storm right now, only moving about to the south about 15 miles per hour towards the area of Vienna. And if you live along the closer to the I-20 corridor, Ruston, and out towards Chudrant,
Chudrant, yeah.
Chudrant, yeah. So you have about at least I'd say about 20 minutes or so. Looking at Ruston and Chudrant right there, 10:35 is when this particular storm will be in your area. So you have at least 20 minutes to start heading to your safe place. But yeah, they're going to continue that warning till at least 10:45 for the tornado and also for the severe thunderstorm warning.
Absolutely. Again, so this warning does go out until, again, 10:45, but by the time it reaches the Ruston and I-20 corridor, it may already have been extended or gone past the area that is tornado warned at this time. If it still shows a strong signature of rotation, then it will potentially be extended just like it had done previously. We can take a look at the reflectivity just so you can get an idea of the size of the storm in particular. And like I said, we've been tracking the storm all the way in Arkansas, where it did have a confirmed tornado in Bradley County, which is why we are staying, I don't want to say concerned, but it is particularly notable that this storm has the capability and has already produced a tornado, which is why we are continuing to cover and look after this storm. But you can see here, it doesn't really have a direct form of the entire storm right now. It's actually a fairly rectangular storm because it goes along a boundary that's draped pretty much across the entire ArkLaMiss and really along the entire region. So associated with it as well with the storm could be potentially heavy rainfall in this area. So again, if you know anybody traveling, make sure that they're staying very weather aware. Make sure that if they are pulling over anywhere, they do not do so under any bridges or overpasses. That is the last thing you want to do, because again, that is particularly dangerous to do so in high wind speeds or in tornado warned storms. Let me look on Shreveport velocity just so you can get a better picture. I think that does better. Yeah, the area of
something
rotation.
to add there, Alex. This is moving, just passing the Dubach area, moving right into Unionville, and Vienna is kind of, I would say, in the path of this particular storm. It's not there. Vienna's not included in the actual tornado warning itself, but it is definitely heading that direction. Like I said, Ruston and Chudrant is also not included in the warning, but it's moving in your direction, and you have, I'll probably say, the next 15 to 20 minutes to start heading to your safe place. If this tornado warning, if this holds up, this only saying if this were to hold up, there's still signs of rotation looking at the velocity track there. So again, we're going to be watching that, and we'll stay with you guys at least until 10:45, until this warning is set to expire. But yeah, zooming in, naming off some of the communities there. Mineral Springs, it's currently right over you guys right now, looking at Virgil Road, Rock Corner, and looking out towards Roy Wade Road, and we have Leachman Road as well. If you any of the areas I just mentioned just now, you need to start heading to your safe place, if not already be there, especially in the Mineral Springs and Rock Corner area. Rock Shop Road, Della Road, there's a Parish Road 455.
Mineral Springs, Pin Ridge Road, Parish Road 45, anywhere really in where you can see that there's green and red mixing. So this entire area really needs to be taking shelter immediately. And again, make sure that your loved ones are awake and aware. It's 10:13 at night. People are getting ready to go to work tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. People had a big day today with Father's Day being today. So again, make sure that your friends and your family that are in these areas are staying weather aware tonight. I do believe that just got trimmed back, did it not?
Yeah, there's trimming it up just a little bit, and it's showing some signs. There's not a whole lot of potential of it being extended, but we're going to have to be watching that because it's still showing just a little bit of rotation right there if it were to hold up. But again, it's looking very weak at this point, looking at certain velocity signatures. It's not as well defined, especially when it was moving in portions of Union County, Arkansas, where we had some strong areas of rotation, but this area of rotation is not as strong. But again, if you live in the areas around Ruston and Chudrant, it'll be in your area, I'd say, in the next 15 minutes. So it may not hold up, and it's looking like it's probably not, because the rotation is starting to weaken just a little bit, and that's one reason why the Weather Service trimmed up, because it's already past the community of Dubach. So look, yeah, there's a good look at the velocity there, but it is producing winds, strong winds with it, and also some hail has been associated with this storm. So, putting the tornado warning aside there.
I believe that's quarter size hail, 1 inch.
It was about 1 inch size hail.
Yeah, that'd be quarter size. So the tornado warning is not the only threat associated with this thunderstorm. And like I had said earlier, this thunderstorm is what we've been tracking since earlier today, if you had seen our cut-in earlier, and it's the only one in the entire ArkLaMiss right now. Off to the east, we're having some more severe weather, but again, not in our area. So that's something noteworthy, I believe, to say that again, this is the only location that we're tracking right now. So that means we're giving you special attention. And if you're in any of these areas, you need to be taking shelter, whether it be for the severe thunderstorm watch or for the tornado warning or the tornado watch or warning. Because again, even if it's not a per se confirmed tornado, it's still producing pretty damaging winds. Earlier the storm was producing damaging winds that could be comparable to an EF0 tornado. So even if this is not a confirmed tornado per se, it's still producing, again, heavy winds that could cause some serious damage. And here's some more street names, Chase, for you.
Yeah, right now if you live in the area around Mineral Springs, Rock Corner, and Cedriton, you need to be in your tornado safe place right now, because that's where the area rotation currently is right now, right along P Ridge Road, Parish Road 455, and it's also running around Parish Road 454 towards the community of Douglas in that direction. Again, we're not seeing a whole lot of strong rotation. Again, this is only indicated by radar, so if this actually is a tornado on the ground, it's weak. It's, you know, not a very strong or very potentially dangerous, but it's still nonetheless not something you need to be out and about, and you just need to take precautionary measures and just be in your safe place, I would say, at least for the next 30 minutes until they allow this warning to expire. But putting that warning, the tornado warning aside, you know, we have the severe thunderstorm warning that is still remaining strong, and it's moving towards the area of Trudrant, Ruston, and Simsboro right now into portions of central Lincoln Parish. It's coming out of Claiborne and Union Parish, and it's moving into Lincoln Parish right now. So their radar's indicating 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch size hail with that. So that alone, you know, we've been seeing thunderstorms that have been producing, you know, very strong wind gusts, especially the past couple of days. That's been the primary threat. We hadn't had a whole lot as far as anything tornadic, but tonight has kind of been the exception. So right now, reading off those roads again, Mineral Springs, Rock Corner, and Cedriton, you need to be in your safe place right now. Just stay there, you know, until they allow this warning to expire. It's showing some signs of weakening just a little bit, but we're going to stay with you. You know, hopefully this thing doesn't start to fester back up as it moves over our area. But, you know, the environment still kind of remains ripe over the next couple of hours right now. Alex is drawing out that area of rotation right there around Rock Corner and Cedriton, you know, and the Culbertson is not included within that warning itself, and Vienna is not, and neither is Ruston or Trudrant. But, you know, they need to be paying attention to the storm, because it could potentially, as it moves over the portions of Lincoln Parish, you know, you can't rule out the possibility of it redeveloping, because this storm did have a history of producing rotation back in Arkansas, but, you know, as it moved into Louisiana, it kind of rebuffed back up. It's starting to weaken a little bit, but can't rule out the possibility of rebuffing back up as it moves across the I-20 corridor.
Also worth noting is, again, this is a fairly large thunderstorm, and it's producing not, again, just a tornado warning, but it's producing damaging wind and hail. You can see the areas of high reflectivity near Dubach right now. I wouldn't doubt if that were area of hail. And so it's going to be crossing the I-20 corridor in the next 10 minutes or so. It's going to be around the Drew Elementary School around 10:36. If you're familiar with that area, West Washita High School, it'll be in that area about 10:55. So if you know anybody that's doing some late night traveling, again, Father's Day was today. People went home to see their families. They traveled to and fro. So if you know anybody traveling along from Gibbsland all the way to, I guess, Monroe here along I-20, make sure that they know what's going on. Make sure that they're staying safe and weather aware. I'm not saying that this tornado warning is going to get extended per se onto I-20 that's going to cross it. But the tornado warning is not the only threat that we're tracking here. There's a very large severe thunderstorm warning that has the tornado warning embedded within it. And again, travel is not recommended on that time. Chase?
So they have allowed the tornado warning to be canceled out right now. I just got the update just now. So they have canceled the tornado warning. It's not updated on our screen just yet. Okay, now it has. So the tornado warning has expired. All we have left now is the severe thunderstorm warning right now for Union, Lincoln, and Claiborne Parish right now. It's moving into central areas of Lincoln Parish right now. It just passed Dubach. It's starting to move across the I-20 corridor. Chudrant and Ruston, you guys are not included right now within the severe thunderstorm warning, but this system has a history of producing rotation and still can't rule out the possibility of it rebuffing back up as it moves across I-20 corridor and moves down to the southeast, because we still have a potential ripe environment across portions of northeast Louisiana that it could potentially buff back up. But the good news is they've canceled the tornado warning, and we have no more active tornado warnings within our viewing area, and this is actually the only severe thunderstorm warning we kind of have left, I would believe, within our viewing area. So the good news is we can go back to regular programming, and of course we'll be watching this system over the course of the next couple of hours and keeping you informed here at KTVE.
Donald Trump tonight unleashing his fury on stage, speaking out for the first time since he was indicted on federal charges.
This vicious persecution is a travesty of justice.
The former president lashing out at special counsel Jack Smith.
Deranged Jack Smith.
And what he called political weaponization.
The ridiculous and baseless indictment of me by the Biden administration's weaponized Department of Injustice will go down as among the most horrific abuses of power in the history of our country.
The current Republican frontrunner also vowed to fight back in 2024.
Every time I fly over a blue state, I get a subpoena. We're going to evict a totally corrupt president, Joe Biden, from the White House. And we're going to finish the job that we started.
The 37-count federal indictment, unsealed Friday, accuses Mr. Trump of illegally taking classified national security documents with him to Mar-a-Lago when he left the White House, storing them insecurely in boxes stashed in a bathroom and on a ballroom stage, sometimes showing them off, then conspiring with an aide to hide them from investigators.
Do you want to pull on all those documents to Mar-a-Lago?
The documents, whole thing is a witch hunt. It's a disgrace. It should never happen. It's hurting our country.
Much of the Republican Party has cautiously rallied around its 2024 presidential frontrunner.
I promise you, when I'm your president, we will end years of politicization at the Department of Justice and restore the confidence of the American people in equal treatment under the law.
The low-polling former governors and former federal prosecutors Chris Christie and Asa Hutchinson notable exceptions.
To me, these are serious charges that merit serious consideration by the public.
The facts that are laid out here are damning in terms of Donald Trump's conduct. And that's what I think we as a party should be looking at.
Well, imagine riding a bike in the heat for 3 hours every day just to get to work. That was a reality for one man who works at a Texas roadhouse in Kentucky, but he lives about 30 miles away from his job. Now his commute just got a whole lot easier. Blaine McDonald has the story.
This is Samson Adams. As you can see, he's excited.
I can't wait. We going
For the last
fishing,
month,
baby.
he's been working at Texas Roadhouse in Paducah.
So I had no choice but to use a manual bike. And then that went out. And then God came and blessed me with all this.
Samson said he has to support his family, but now his work family and community are the ones supporting him. Texas Roadhouse Community Ambassador Joelle Long says she and her husband noticed he was tired at work. They soon learned his story.
I started picking him up, we started talking, and the more I talked to him, the more I got to know him, the more I loved him, and the more I felt like this guy really deserves someone to just give a little bit of a help.
So she posted his story on Facebook. The community and his Texas Roadhouse family immediately jumped on the opportunity to help.
What was going through your head? I thought I was in trouble. I really thought I was in trouble. I was like, oh man, maybe I forgot to do something, or maybe I shouldn't have ate that piece of bread on camera, you know, something simple like that. And she was like, no, you're not in trouble. I got news for you. We got you a car. I'm like, what? Just basically like I didn't know what to think.
A car. What Samson is calling a true blessing. His 3-hour bike ride to work now just a 30-minute drive.
Here she is.
Joel says this car is helping his future and his family's too.
Thank you very much, Paducah. Come and see me at Texas Roadhouse. My name is Samson. I would be the best server I could be.
Well, weather is next. Meteorologist Alex Noel is here. She'll have your full forecast when NBC 10 News at 10 continues.
The latest local news is always a click away at myarklamiss.com.
Before I cast the first line out, I watched the Honey Hole Insider with my good buddy David Owen. He knows where all the good fishing spots are.
The Honey Hole Insider Weekly Fishing Report, Friday mornings at 6.
Join your local chamber for the 2023 Community Business Expo. Experience everything local. Door prizes include a $500 gift card. Family friendly and free to attend. June 29th at the Glenwood Medical Mall. Don't miss it.
If a grilled cheese and a double cheeseburger got married, their combined assets would include 2 seasoned beef patties and 3 pieces of melty American cheese. At their wedding, we'd give them a Texas toast. Sonic $3.99 grilled cheese double burger and tots deal.
Hey ArkLaMiss, all roads lead to Banner Ford of Monroe, where automotive service comes to you. For factory recalls and more, go to bannerfordofmonroe.com to schedule service. Banner, the #1 Volume 4 dealer in North Louisiana.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
Bayou Kubota, service with a purpose in Monroe, Ruston, and Bossier.
The GMC Sierra with hands-free driving. Yeah, it rocks. Or take 0.9% APR plus over 1,200 trade assistance and no monthly payments for 90 days.